guys, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going over my Backlist Read-a-thon TBR. So the Backlist Read-a-thon is a readathon that is taking place from Monday, March 9th, which actually should be today when you guys are seeing this, through Sunday, March 15th. And this is more of a readathon to try to encourage people to read their backlist books or books that have been on their TBR for a while now. I'm going to leave all the announcement links and information links down below so you guys can also look that up if you want to. But we do have 6 prompts for this readathon, and I have picked one book per prompt for this TBR. I don't know if that's going to actually be feasible for me to read in a week. But I'm going to say that I'm going to try to do it in this TBR, but these books can double or triple up sometimes, so if I don't get through all of them, I'm hoping I'm at least going to fulfill all the prompts. So let's jump right on into the first prompt. If you guys hear stuff in the background, that's my son playing in his bouncer. So the first prompt is to read your shortest backlist title, and for me that is going to be Arthur Blackfrost by Justin Vincent Gray. This is a graphic novel that is only 72 pages long. It is literally the shortest book I own on my shelves that still needs to be read. And this is a fantasy graphic novel that I helped kickstart a couple years ago, I want to say. I think we got it sometime last year. And I don't remember much else about it. There is obviously something with water. But yeah, it's like a fantasy graphic novel. It's, like I said, 72 pages. It should be very, very quick and easy to do. This actually might be my first read of the readathon because I know for a fact I can get it done. The second prompt is to read a book on your backlist that intimidates you. And I could have picked a few different books. But if I was really being honest with myself, there was only one book I could truly pick. And this is where my TBR and readathon are probably going to go downhill already. And that is 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami. This is a bind-up of the whole trilogy. It's over 1,000 pages long. And I've had it for over 6 years. So it is definitely something that has been intimidating me on my TBR because of how freaking long it is. I could have been that person and picked something a little bit easier, or I could have been that person and said I'm only going to read the first book in here, because the first book by itself is about 387 pages. That's a much more doable amount for a readathon. But I guess that's just not being true to me. I'm not even entirely sure what this is anymore. I'm pretty sure it is some sort of, I think it's more of a fantastical realism, magical realism sort of book, because I'm pretty sure that's what Haruki Murakami does. I have not read any of his books, and this is the one that interested me the most when I was looking through things years and years ago when I first had heard of him. And I'm pretty sure it's some sort of fantasy, like I said, or magical realism take on like Orwell's 1984, but not exactly. It's 1Q84. I don't know how much it ties into that book or not, but it's been on my shelves for a while. Because it is the bind-up, we don't even get a good summary. The back literally just says, a love story, a mystery, a fantasy, a novel of self-discovery, a dystopia to rival George Orwell's. 1Q84 is a tremendous feat of imagination from one of our most revered contemporary writers. So, this is a chunker of a book. And I guess we'll see if I'm able to read this for the readathon, but out of every single book that I have on my TBR, this one definitely intimidates me. The next prompt is to read a book on your backlist that you added as a recommendation from somebody else. Now, every year I go to the VNSA book sale in Phoenix, Arizona, except for this year we went on a trip instead, so we didn't actually get to do that this year. However, I want to say it was about 3 years ago. I was browsing in the like sci-fi fantasy mass market section, because that's the section I usually end up in, and somebody else that I have no idea who they were found me looking at a specific author in that section and basically told me I had to read him, and so I picked up 2 books. It's Alan Dean Foster, and I picked up Kozel, I want to say it is, I don't know how to pronounce that exactly, and Cat-a-lyst. Now, Cat-a-lyst is slightly shorter than Kozel, and so I think I'm going to read this one specifically, but they were both added on to my physical TBR because of a recommendation from somebody. I don't even know who they were. And this has to do with cats. I, you know, have 5 cats. I love cats. So I'm very intrigued to see exactly what this is going to be like. Again, I don't know much about it, so I'm just going to read you the summary on the back. It says, movie star Jason Carter is on vacation in Peru. All he wants is a break, but what he finds is a lost civilization of extra-dimensional Incas bent on conquest of the entire world. Nor is Carter alone. His allies include a bloodthirsty Amazon, an archaeologist, a bank robber, 3 alien vegetables, a scoop-crazed gossip reporter, and not one of them knows what to do next. Only Carter's cat seems unruffled by the growing danger. In true feline fashion, she acts like she's in charge of the planet. Maybe she is. So, yeah, I think we're gonna be giving this one a try. These books by Alan Dean Foster, I believe, came out in like the 70s or 80s, so they are definitely like backlist books, not just on my TBR, but in general, and I'm very intrigued to see what sort of this like classic sci-fi fantasy sort of stuff is going to be. I haven't tried one of his books yet, and I guess it is time to do that. The 4th prompt is to read a backlist book that you were most excited to read, and for that we're going to be going with A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. I have read some other Brigid Kemmerer books, specifically her Spark series. It's called the Elemental series, and that was like a paranormal YA romance sort of series, and I really enjoyed the first book of that one, and I'm very intrigued by this one as well. This one has been billed as like a modern day Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I believe our main protagonist, she also has cerebral palsy, so we do have some diversity in here as well for like health issues, and I have just been super intrigued by this. I have heard mostly good things, and I liked her writing style in the previous books I've read, and I just really want to read this one, especially since I think the sequel came out earlier this year. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Then the next prompt is to read a diverse backlist book, and that could be basically any diversity, skin color, religion, sexual orientation, health reasons. But for this one, I have Fence Volume 2 by C.S. Picot and Joanna the Mad. I have read the first volume a couple years ago as single issues, and I do actually have Volume 2 and Volume 3 still to read. There is at least one LGBTQ character in here, and it just deals with boys at a school trying to get like higher positions on the fencing team. There's some good rivalry. I love the art style. I mean, just look at how nice and clean and perfect it is, and I've been meaning to read this for a while, and it's a graphic novel, so it's going to be very quick and easy to read if I need something to fit into a couple different prompts. And then the last prompt is to read a backlist book with blue on the cover. Now, I do have a few books over here. I actually want to say everything except for this middle one has some sort of blue on the cover, so I don't necessarily have to pick a separate book for this, but I have one just in case I decide to be that overachiever, and that is going to be Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. This is the first book in a middle grade series that I have heard lots and lots about, and they came out with new covers a couple years ago, and I purchased this sometime last year because I love these covers way more. And I don't remember too much about this. I believe it takes place somewhere in the UK, and our main character's uncle, who was a writer, I believe, like an author, died, but she comes to find out that the stuff he was writing about wasn't just fiction, and there's some sort of skeleton detective or something. I don't know, but it seems very fun and fantastical, and since it is a middle grade, it should be a quick and easy read. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up quickly. Baby's getting a little bit fussy, but those are the 6 books I'm hoping, we'll see, to read for the Backlist Read-a-thon. All of these books are books that I've had for a while now. I think the most recent one is actually Arthur Blackfrost. Everything else I've had for at least a year or more, and I'm very, very excited to see how much I'm actually able to read in a readathon. I do think it's the first readathon I'm actually doing in 2020. I'm also going to be vlogging all week. I can't do daily vlogs just because of how hard it is to do with the baby, but I do like to put up the weekly reading vlog at the beginning of the next week after the readathon is done, so keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up Mondays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!